Hi, my name is Paityn, and I am in 8th grade. For my scenario this year, I chose to start a small macaron baking business. I learned how to make macarons as well as start and run a business. The name of my business and title of my scenario is A Taste of Pears. Feel free to pause the video at any time to read any of the slides more in depth. Common cookie confusion. A large debate in our world today is the difference between a macaron and a macaroon. I make macarons, which are French cookies that are meringue and almond based. They have a creamy filling. Macaroons are American cookies that are made mostly of coconut. The anatomy of a macaron. Macarons are much more difficult to make and master than meets the eye. The perfect macaron should have a smooth top with a crispy and chewy texture, feet, a sweet and creamy filling, and same-sized almond and meringue-based cookies. The history of macarons. Macarons were born in Italy and brought over to France in 1533. At first, macarons were only made of 3 basic ingredients. Over time, different types of macarons were formed in different parts of France, but the macaron as we know it today didn't come about until the 1890s. And National Macaron Day is March 20th. There are 2 basic types of macarons, Italian meringue and French meringue. I make Italian meringue macarons, which involve heating up sugar and water to create a simple syrup that is poured into the meringue. The feet have smaller air pockets and they are powdery and crumbly. French meringue macarons involve whipping egg whites and sugar to create a meringue. They have bigger air pockets in their feet and they are chewier and less sweet. About my business. To learn how to make macarons, I met with Sarah Moore, the owner of More Macarons. She taught me everything I know. I decided to sell macarons at my business because I love Paris and I wanted to learn how to make the cookies. And I named my business A Taste of Pears because it fits with the theme of French desserts. Starting a business is much more than just figuring out products to sell. You have to figure out prices, advertising, and create a name, logo, and more. On this slide, you will find examples of my price spreadsheets, order forms, and logo, which I all used in the making of my business.
Hi everyone, I am now going to show you a quick tutorial of how to make macarons. Right now, I am sifting the almond flour and powdered sugar together. Sifting these ingredients is an important part of macarons because it allows there to be no lumps in the batter and the cookies will have smooth tops. After I'm done here, I'll mix it with egg whites and blue coloring. As I said before, there are 2 types of macarons you can make, and the Italian method involves making a simple syrup. It is sugar and water mixed together, and it's what I am doing right now. I let it heat up to 245 degrees. The syrup adds form to the meringue and the macarons. My meringue is done. I first mix my egg whites and sugar, and then I gradually add in my simple syrup. I beat the mixture until soft peaks form. So that means when the whisk is pulled upward, that there will be a slight bend. Creating a meringue is a very big part of making macarons. Next, I will add the meringue to the paste I created earlier. It is important not to overmix this mixture because the macarons won't create feet and won't bake correctly if this happens. Right now, I am piping my macarons. I find that using a large piping bag and a round tip is easiest to use. I also use a non-stick mat with circles to make sure all of my macarons are the same size. To pipe, I start in the center, squeeze to make a large circle, and then I let go and twist to release. After I'm done piping the macarons, I will hit the tray on a table a couple of times to remove air bubbles, and then let them rest to create a crust before baking. I'm just taking the macarons out of the oven and they look great. I know when they're done when they have feet and they don't wiggle when I touch them. Now I'm going to let them cool and then peel them off the mats. Before I pipe filling between my macarons, I match up ones that are the same size. Then I take my filling, I made a buttercream this time, which is just butter, powdered sugar, vanilla, and a little bit of milk, and I colored it to match my macarons. And then I put it in a piping bag with a small star tip. You can add any flavorings or mix-ins you want to the buttercream or make a different filling too. To pipe filling in my macarons, I pipe a ring on the bottom of one of them, and then I take the other one and put it on top. So, this is what my finished macarons look like. They have feet, nicely proportioned shells with smooth tops and a creamy filling. Now, this process might have looked easy, but trust me, macarons are very difficult to make. Messing up one step could ruin all of the macarons. So, if you ever try to make macarons, don't get discouraged if they don't turn out. With a little bit of practice, you'll be impressing your family and friends with these delicious desserts.
These are all of my sources. I hope you enjoyed learning about my scenario.